I decided it's time to put the battery in and see what we can do from there. And when I looked here, I saw that it probably wasn't going to work very well because this tip is just broke completely off. So I need to either fix this, and I'm not sure if I fix it if it's going to be long enough, but we'll give it a shot. All right, we got that one out. I'm probably not going to put it back right now. All right, put that down there with that connector. Let's see if I can cut back a little bit of this insulation. We certainly don't want to cut back a lot because this cable's pretty short anyway. And while I have more of the black, I don't have any more of this red. So it would mean a trip to town or a computer order or something to get it. All right, well, we've got the battery installed. I fixed the end of the positive cable here. I'll show you. Put a new end on it. Hopefully I've got a good enough connection. I'm going to buy a new cable next time I go to town and make up a new one. I got plenty of connectors. We're trying to chase down now what works and what doesn't work. So let's turn the key on. And well, let's try the starter first of all. We're going to push her up here. Works like a champ. All right, we're seeing about 10.6 volts on this battery, so it still spins it over pretty good, but then again, there's no spark plug in it, so there's no compression. Let's see about lights. I don't have the headlight on it, but you can see here that that's working. Let's try a brake light. That one works. And if we try the one on the handlebar, that does not work. Alright, so we need to troubleshoot that. What else? The horn doesn't work. And I don't have the turn signals hooked up yet, so they won't work. The neutral indicator does work. And the turn signal indicator won't work until I get the flasher hooked up. And we've still got a problem with something, because I tested that horn before I put it in, and it's just not working. I'm thinking maybe the ground isn't hooked up inside here, because that's all it does, is it puts a ground on one side of that horn. It's got voltage coming out of here, and if we ground it, I'll bet you we'll get some horn. Let's just find out, shall we? I'm going to take alligator clip it to ground, pull off the pink wire, which, well, didn't have a very good job on that, did I? Huh, I bet you the other one's just as bad, huh? Alright, well, let's see if it goes to ground. And we can do that with a meter. Oh, I'm sorry, I lost you there, didn't I? But you still should be recording the sound. All right, we got our meter. One side's tied to ground, and we do not have a ground on the pink wire when we, well, let's see, like, you got to push the switch. Let's see, I don't know if you can see that or not. No, I think the switch is totally dead. That should be going to ground. So I think I got a grounding problem in there someplace. So I'll get to work on that tomorrow. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about turn signals. Hopefully you can see me in there. I'm just going to show you how these things are wired up and go over that a little bit. First of all, the connector that you see down here where all these are connected and over here, there are two of these, and they connect 4 wires together. This one is a permanent connection. It's crimped on, and it goes to the rear tail light, depending on which side you're on. Okay, then it's got 3 other places where you can plug things in, and we'll go over that and show how everything's connected. Alright, first of all, you got your battery here, and these flashers do run off the battery. And then you have, actually there's a fuse right in here, and that goes a red wire to the ignition switch. When you turn your ignition on and turn the lights on, you put power to the flasher. It's a 2-pin flasher. I got one over here. It's similar to this, but maybe not exactly like it. This is an aftermarket unit, and I haven't installed it yet, and I'm hoping it'll work. It's 2 pins and a thermal relay. The thermal relay, once you complete the path to one of these turn signals, left or right, it draws current through a contact in here. And that contact, when it gets warm, it warps and it breaks the contact. Then it cools and it goes back down and makes the contact again. And it keeps doing that until you turn the power to those particular lights off. Okay? So, we go from the ignition switch down to the flasher. From the flasher, we go to the turn signal switch, which is on the handlebar, the one on the handlebar on the left. And from there, you switch it to either the left, which goes down to here, and ties this, and this all together. There's 4 connectors here. This one goes to the indicator, this one to the turn signal switch, which is the signal that's going to go out to all the other bulbs. So there's 3 bulbs, this one, and this one, that connect. And that's the same on both sides. On the right side, you've got this one, which is the rear, the right front, and then the indicator. Now the indicator is the funny one because it's tied across the 2. So whichever light you turn on, that one indicator bulb will flash. Or yeah, it will show you that your turn signal's flashing. So that's basically how it works. Any other questions? Didn't think so. Oh yes, one other thing I forgot is that this is a brown wire coming off of the ignition switch, solid brown, but this wire right here is brown with a white marker going to the turn signal switch. So that's the only brown with a white you'll find anywhere on the bike, I think. although it does have a connector in between here. That's all. Well, let's see if we can figure out any more of these wires here. We need to have this one here, which is the permanent one in this connector, should have a connection going to the front one, to the front turn signal, green being over here, and it should have a connection to the switch up here, which will be another green one coming out of the switch one, if I can find it. And this seems to be the switch harness, so there should be a green one in there. There is one green. It's dark green, but that's okay. We'll poke that in that one. Now there's one more empty space here, and that should go up to the turn signal indicator, which is, maybe that's the one I just put in there. This is a real mess. And this one, I can't tell if that's black or green. But it's the right harness, or the right sleeve it's coming out of. We got pink and blue here, which goes to the horn. We got brown with a white marker that goes up to the turn signal switch, and we should have a brown, a regular brown, which is here, and then we should have that green, which I've got plugged in the wrong place. All right, so that's a green, and that green goes into this one. What a mess. I'm pretty sure. Green, green, green. Green, green grass of home. Here we go. All right, that should take care of all the right turn signal connections. Now what do we got to do? We got to work on the brown ones. This is a black, but we should have another brown connector. This goes to the left turn signal. Whoop, sorry, kicked you there. Hopefully we didn't mess you up too bad. That's hooked up.